LeBron, how happy are you finally know now who you're playing?
Listen, we put in a lot of work, these last few days, and it's exciting for us to get back on the court. So, we're playing against a worthy opponent, great coaching staff, great players, and we look forward to the challenge.
Hey, Brian, you cross paths a lot with the Celtics in the playoffs. What do you appreciate most about that franchise and its place in our game?
I mean, it's only two winning franchises, the Lakers and the Celtics, and you know the history of the game. So you just respect that, and you look up in the stands and see the banners and see the jerseys retired and things of that nature. You respect what the history has created to this point.
Have you done that for your career? Have you paused to kind of look at all that stuff?
I don't think I've paused, but I've actually looked up there and seen how cool it was. But I haven't actually paused. I haven't paused in my career yet at all.
We've tried to get you to say you have a rivalry with the Warriors 100 times. And lots of times you say there's just not enough history there yet. With the Celtics, you have a history. Can you have a rivalry with the Jersey? Because they don't have any of the players, from the old days.
I don't know. It's not for me to talk about. I mean, at the end of the day, the Celtics is our next opponent, and like I said, they're a worthy opponent, and we have to game plan. Every game we have the game plan for what they bring to the table, and we have to mentally focus on our challenges that we have every game.
Ron, you mentioned that mental focus during a long layoff. What are the challenges of staying with that mental focus for what is needed for the playoffs?
We've been focused this whole week. We got a couple of days off, Monday and Tuesday after we clinched versus Toronto, but since then we've been putting in work, and mentally and physically. So, as far as our mental side, I'm not worried about that. It's always like the rhythm. We've been off. It'll be 10 days tomorrow. Since we played a game, the rhythm is something that you kind of like, see if we still have it. But as far as the mental side, we're focused.
Is starting on the road a good thing then, along those lines? And does that help sharpen that focus?
It doesn't matter. It's playoffs. It doesn't matter if you're starting at home or on the road. You should be focused. And if not, you shouldn't be a part of the playoffs anyways.
Learned or take away from that late April game you had against the early April game you had against the Celtics?
Nothing. Two different teams. We're a totally different team, and they're a totally different team at this point. So I'll take nothing from it.
How amazed are you with what Isaiah's been able to do, considering everything that he's gone through during this, this postseason from a personal standpoint?
I think at the end of the day, the basketball is the easiest way to get away from anything that you may be going through, and I said that already. It's like it's a comfort. It's you see your teammates, you see the court, you see the excitement, and you're playing something that you've been loving and things of that nature for forever. So even with him going through what he's been going through, with his personal family and his sister, which is I can't put myself in his shoes. He's been unbelievable to be able to do that.
You personally have played 8 games over the course of about 40 days now. This time of year, what does that do for your body?
I feel worse when I don't play. I told you that. So it does nothing for me.
Isaiah Thomas said he watched your Game 7 versus Paul Pierce to get fired up for this game the other night, last night. Do you think that's cool that a young guy would do that, or have you ever done that yourself to find inspiration from it?
I think it's it's always to each his own. It's whatever puts you in the mindset to get ready to go out and play. I've never watched previous games and things of that nature. But I think it's to each his own, and obviously it worked. He had a hell of a game last night.
Hey, Brian, is this stop and go as tough as anybody's in the league, and what kind of a challenge is that defensively?
No, it's a handful of guys. 2 of them was on the court at the same time. John and Isaiah, Chris Paul, Russell Westbrook, Mike Conley, and that's just to name 5 off the top of my head. There's some very, very good players that know how to do that. So it's going to be very challenging for us defensively, but it should be. It's the postseason, and we shouldn't want it no other way.
Olynyk has a history with you guys. Last series, he had the thing with Oubre. Do you think he's a dirty player?
I'm not about storylines. We just come to play basketball. You guys trying to create storylines. I'm not for it. The only storyline is Celtics versus Cavs and who can win this series.